Hello, welcome to another small video. It's been a while. It's been about, we'll say, maybe 6 months since I made my last video. But anyways, I want to show you all today my collection of wire feed Lincoln welders. I got one, two, three, I got four Lincoln welders. And I got one more in my truck. It's mounted in my truck. It's the Outback 185. But anyways, let's talk about these welders here. So I have a collection of welders, as you can see, and I heard that if you got more than one item the same, it's called a collection. So I call it my welder collection. So here we go. I got the Lincoln 100. I got the Lincoln 125. I got the Lincoln 140. And I got the Lincoln Arc electrode 225. Now, these welders I have for a while, and I started collecting them back 20-some years ago, 24 or 5 years ago. So I'll tell you a little bit about each one and how I end up getting it and why I have so many. This here is the Lincoln 100. I bought this one back 20-some 4 or 5 years ago. And back then I was just interested in, welding two pieces of metal together and seeing how that worked. And I knew people that were welders, and I figured, well, I want to try it out. So I bought this one. I paid like $120 or so. I bought it at the swap meet, used. And I just started working afterwards on a door company. We do door service. Now I have my own company now. I own my own company, door repair and service. And now we do occasional welding. I'm not a certified welder. I'm not a good welder or anything. No, I'm not trying to say that I know how to weld just because I got welders. No, but I could put two pieces of metal together. So this welder, after I bought it, I was doing a job for the school district. And it quit on me. The welder broke. I didn't know what was wrong with it, but I knew that I needed a welder to continue working, so I went to Home Depot and got me this one, the Lincoln 125. I used it for another figure 5-6 years. We don't weld too much, so it lasted me a long time before it broke. One time it broke, and then I was in the middle of a job site, so I needed to get another one. So I went to Home Depot and got me this one. This one, I have this one for, I will say, maybe 8-9 years. And it's been working fine, not a problem. But recently, it broke, so I was going to get another one. I thought about getting another 140 or maybe the 180. And 180 is the new Lincoln, the biggest one they have for residential. It's 120, you can plug it in any outlet in your house. Other than that, you have to upgrade to a 220. Like this one. This is 220. This one you gotta have the 220 volt outlet. You gotta run that through your house and to your backyard and hook it up. Anyways, I was trying to get me a new one because this here, I'll tell you what was wrong with it. The motor went out. It wasn't feeding the wire. The wire was coming out real, I will say, slow, that you could put your finger to it and stop it from flowing or from running. And I figured I needed a new motor. Well, it happens that what I needed was a new hose. The hose was kinked in a couple of places, and the wire wasn't feeding properly. That was the problem. So I got a new 15-foot hose, and it's working perfectly fine. So I don't have to get a new welder. This one here, I got this one at Home Depot. I will say maybe 24, 25, at least 20 years ago. The Home Depot near my house was going out of business. It was closing the store down. And they were, instead of taking all the merchandise to other stores, they decided to have a sale and just get rid of everything. So I bought it. Supposedly I got a deal. I paid like $220, $30 for it. And supposedly I got like, 25% off. And I found out afterwards that I paid what was worth. I mean, I went to another Home Depot, I looked it up, and it was the same price that I paid for. So anyways, I bought it long time ago. Never used it, not even once. I got all I got the electrode holder, and I got the clamp for the ground. I have never even hooked them up. So it's never been used. It's still brand new after 24, 25 years. Well, when this one broke, long time ago, I put it away because I needed another one right away. So I got this one. When I got this one, after a few years, someone told me, I was telling them about my welder, how it quit working and it wasn't sparking anymore. He goes, maybe you need a new hose, because that hose here, at the base of the hose, by doing this number all the time for over the years, like the wires on your cell phone and, like the charger on your phone, by going back and forth like this, it stops charging your phone because the wires here get cut off. Same thing happened. So I went home, took the hose from this one, put it in that one, and it's working perfectly fine. It's welding like it should. Nothing wrong with it. It's just old, it's little, it's 100, but it works as it did when it was new. So there's no problem with it. And this is what I use in my house, doing my little repairs, my little things that I need to weld, whatever at home. This is what I use. It's set up, it's ready. You got the gasless spool of wire, and it's working perfectly fine. I can just hook it up and weld something right now. So it's working really good. This one, it broke years ago, and I knew it right when it broke. I knew exactly what it was because I saw it right here. This is the motor assembly right there. So this little guy here, looks like a bullet right there. Well, there's another one across from there. Across the wheels is another one right there. This here is, when you have the spool of wire, the spool is turning, the wire is being fed through here on these wheels. That's what makes the wire flow. It goes into this little bullet-looking thingy. Well, a washer fell inside here somehow when I was using it, and it shorted out. And this little guy here, it got really hot. And this whole case is plastic. So it got hot and it went out of alignment. It's something like that way. Maybe an eighth of an inch, but it's enough to be out of alignment from this one. Because these little wheels have a groove that feed the wire through into this little bullet, and it goes into the hose, and it goes on to, for it to weld. Well, this little guy got so hot that he moved out of the way. He went out of alignment. Now, when it works, it welds and everything, but when the wire is being fed, through here, this thing is so sharp at the end that if it's not aligned straight, it's shaving a little hair, like a little piece of steel wool out of the wire. It's real thin as a hair, but it makes like a big old spool like this, or a big old thing of hair, from the wire. And that's the only problem that it has. It's nothing really big, but I mean, it welds and everything. I just don't stop using it because of that. So I could probably fix the little thing there, because I tried getting the motor from Lincoln, because I tried getting the motor for that one when I thought I needed it. And it happened that the motor was $380 plus tax and shipping. It will be over $400 for the motor for the little thing, the motor right there. So I figured this motor should be another, about $300 or so, if you can find it, because I tried looking for it aftermarket, couldn't find it. So I'm assuming they don't make them aftermarket, and Lincoln wants $400 almost for that one. So it's too expensive. This welder here is worth about $600-700 brand new at the store at Home Depot. I don't want to spend, $500. I'll just go ahead and buy a new one and have a brand new welder. But if I buy a new one, then I will have one more welder for my collection of welders that, they're not working. So since I got this one working, I'm going to get that one fixed. I'm going to just somehow get that thing aligned, either, getting it hot again and then moving it back and then gluing it together, whatever, to get it to work. I only need, like this one, I use it for my little projects at home, to weld a little something that got broken or whatever, little things. So this one here, this is the one I use at work. On my truck, I got the Lincoln 185, the Outback 185. with a gas motor that I use for as a generator to do work, and I use it as generator to power this thing and weld with this thing, because it's easier to take 100-foot extension cord into the building and do some welding with this one instead of running the 100-foot leads of the arc welder from my truck. So it's easier to just take this one inside the building. It is 122, so if you got 120 in the building, you can use that instead of running power. So anyways, this is what I got. And the reason of this video, and I'm not trying to show off my welders. What I'm trying to do is, this is why I'm doing this. Recently, one of my neighbor kids here, he's getting interested in learning welding. So he's even going to school and taking classes here and there for welding. And I talked to him a while back, and he said he didn't have a welder, and he wanted to get one, but I mean, he doesn't have the money. He can just go buy one. He's a student, so he doesn't have a job. So I figure I'm gonna give him this welder, and so that way he could have something at home that he could practice. Because he goes to school, and then you go to school, you come back. If you're a mechanic, you go to school, you come back and you work on your car and you practice on your car. But if you want to become a welder, you go to school, you come back, you don't have a welder at home, you can't weld, you can't do anything, you can't really practice what you learn at school. But if you have a welder, that will be great. So I want to give him this welder. It's working perfectly fine. You can take it home right now and weld something. It's working, that good. And I got a brand new helmet that I bought for me because my other one broke. But I'm going to give him that helmet as well. It's a automatic helmet. I'm going to give him the welder. I'm going to give him the helmet. And I might even give him this little car. This little car, I got it at Harbor Freight, years ago, a couple of years ago. I never used it. I bought it, put it together, and put it in the garage, and it's been there ever since. So I'm going to give him this little car, give him the little welder right there, and the helmet, the welding hood. And then I want to call him over with an excuse to help me move something out of the way or something. But I want to record his reaction to it. I think it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be cool because, nobody out there is giving out welders to neighbors just because. So, like I said, he's a student. He doesn't have a welder. So I'm sure he's going to be surprised that he's going to have a welder of his own. Now he can take it home and practice and play around and put two pieces of metal together. And that's the main thing. I mean, you could go to school all you want, but if you don't have the practice, you're not going to get too far. So I think it's going to be a good thing for him. And the reason I'm doing this is because his mom I was talking to his mom, and she said that he came up to her and goes, "Hey, Mom, you think Martina will let me borrow his welder? I want to do a little thing in the backyard." And then she said, "No, you can't really go buy, and borrow a welder from the neighbor. It's not a screwdriver. It's not a pair of pliers. You can just borrow. I mean, those are expensive. You can't just borrow it. What if you break it?" He goes, no, I don't think you should be borrowing a welder from the neighbor. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, instead of letting them borrow it, what the hell? I'm going to just give it to him. That way, he's got a welder of his own. It's a little one. This is the little 100. But I mean, if you don't have one, if you want to weld your bike or something, this is perfect. That will do up to maybe 3/16 of an inch thick. So you can weld basically anything in your house that you need welding. You could do it with this one with no problems. So this is the video. I'm gonna try to record a little bit of his reaction to it and see how it goes. This is the last part of the video. My neighbor came by yesterday trying to borrow my welder, so I figure, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him. So I did. I gave it to him yesterday. He took it home, and I heard he was using it, so I'm sure he's having fun with it. So this is my second welder, the 125, the one that had the defective motor. I have fixed the motor. The motor is being fixed. It's working properly. I got that fixed, and I have got a new hose. So he's back to working in perfect conditions. So I still got 2 welders that work. one for my house to use in my personal little stuff at home, and the one I'm gonna put back in my truck. And this one here, I'm gonna put it back in the storage. I don't need it, so I'll put it back inside my garage and save it for whenever I want to use it. But he came by yesterday. He came by and picked up the welder. I gave him the welder, the welder hood, and I gave him the cart that goes with it. And he was really happy. And I'm gonna add the short video that I made from his reaction to this video and put it all together. Okay, I'm in my backyard with my neighbor. My neighbor's kid. He's wanting to borrow my welder. Now, I made a previous video about all these welders that I have and what I wanted to do with them. So I was gonna talk to him later, but he's here. So Oscar,
yeah,
that welder right there, that one,
yes,
is a gift for you. You can have it.
really,
Yes, I'll give it to you. I had it for the longest time. I bought this welder. This is my first welder that I ever had. I bought it about, I will say, 25 years ago. I paid $100 and some for it at the swap meet, and it broke at one point. I fixed it, and it's working. And I was making a video last week. That's why all this setup is here, because I was making a video that I was going to give you this welder. I'm going to give you the welder. Check it out. It has the wire. It has everything. It's ready to weld. You can take it home and weld something together right this minute. So I'm gonna even give you this brand new helmet. The helmet is about $60. I just bought it like a couple of days ago or a week ago. So that's your welder.
wow,
What do you think about that?
that's crazy. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You can have that and check it out. You can load it up on this little cart and take the cart too. So you can have the welder, the little cart, and the helmet. How cool is that?
That's amazing. Thank you.
That's cool, huh? You know, when I was starting to do welding and I like to do welding, I always thought, I wish someone would have a welder that I could borrow. Not, I wasn't trying to get a gift. I was trying to borrow somebody's welder, and everybody like, oh, well, you know what? I used to buy this one for $1,000. I can't let you borrow it. So I'm like, you know what? Now that I have a couple of welders, you can have the one. So you can load up the welder and this little cart and take it home and play with it.
Thank you.
All right?
I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Amazing.
This concludes my video that I was making. I made a video already about this whole thing. And this concludes my video. So this is the end of it. He has a new welder, or it's a used welder, but he's got a new to you welder and a new helmet and a little cart. So you could go home right now and play welder.
That's amazing. Thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem. Anytime.